Okay, August 7th. A couple things today. The first one is that in 1964, the Gulf of Tonkin resolution was passed by Congress. And what that it was in response to North Vietnamese firing on the destroyer Maddox, which was in the Gulf of Tonkin. There were some other reports of enemy fire, but those have been questioned as to whether they were actually valid or whether they were enhanced in order to get Congress to act. But the Gulf of Tonkin resolution allowed Lyndon Johnson to basically engage U.S. forces in Vietnam for the first time. And what that did, without a formal declaration of war, Lyndon Johnson was able to wage the Vietnam War without a Congress approval by using the Gulf of Tonkin resolution as his justification for increasing troops in the region. The United States has only ever declared war 5 times against 5 countries in our history. Last time was in 1941. Both the Vietnam and Korean wars were not formal declarations of war by Congress. So that happened in 1964. The other one was in 1990. George H.W. Bush ordered the beginning of Operation Desert Shield. Desert Shield was in response to Saddam Hussein invading Kuwait. And so we went into Saudi Arabia to try and protect the Saudis and their oil fields because we felt that might be the next thing that the Iraqis would go after. This culminated in Operation Desert Storm, which was when we actually took offensive action, bombing campaigns for air power, and then ultimately sending in tanks and troops into Kuwait and briefly Iraq. We didn't occupy Iraq for very long because we really felt that that was not in our best interest at the time. We felt it was better to have a weakened Saddam Hussein in power than to remove him from power. On a personal note, this is where Flory and I met. My wife, Flory, and I met in Saudi Arabia during Operation Desert Storm. Desert Shield, really, because Desert Storm didn't last very long. It was only a little bit, a few days or a few weeks. So anyway, so it was kind of some little history there. Anyway, that's it for August 7th. I will see you tomorrow.